Today, we're going to talk about how you can use your LinkedIn profile as a marketing tool. In fact, your profile is a commercial for you. When you are applying for jobs, you generally have 3 tools at your disposal: your resume, an impactful cover letter, and your network. Your LinkedIn profile can effectively help you find people who may work at that company, or alumni who may have graduated from the university that you're currently attending, or other people that you may be connected to who can share how fantastic a hire you would be. One of the most important things right off the bat is to have a professional photo. Your photo can say a lot about you. From a recruiter's perspective, the recruiter will try to imagine whether they can envision you interacting with their clients, whether you look professional/smart, and whether they can imagine you being on their team. Keep in mind that one of your goals is to use your LinkedIn profile to distinguish yourself from other candidates with respect to your job search. There are different ways to do that. One is your profile headline. You can put something like student there, which probably won't distinguish you from your other classmates. Try to use something that's more descriptive. It may be the title in your existing job, the position you're aspiring to. It may be using descriptors that help describe you in a way that's compelling to recruiters. From a networking perspective, the next place that a recruiter's eye can quickly go to is the number of connections you have on your LinkedIn profile. Someone with a low number of connections won't have a positive response to the question, is this individual someone who appreciates the value of networking for professional success? Also keep in mind that with respect to endorsements, which we'll talk about in a bit, someone can only endorse you if they are a connection. With respect to describing what you bring to the table and what you're interested in, there is a place on your LinkedIn profile that is well suited for this. It's called the summary. It is optional, and we recommend that you actually include it. It should be relatively brief. Try to limit it to 1 or 2 small paragraphs. In it, you should talk about what you're interested in doing. This can be tricky if you're currently employed and you don't want to highlight to your employer that you are perhaps looking for a new position without showing your cards to your current employer. The next section below the summary is your background, and your background related to your experience at the different places you've worked. The main idea, not to repeat your resume. Many of the people who will be recruiting you already have a copy of your resume. Your LinkedIn profile is an additional opportunity to influence that hiring manager or that recruiter to bring you in for an interview. My favorite idea is to describe your role in the context of why it matters to the company you work for. This is 2 or 3 sentences maximum. The way I like to describe this is the difference between the ownership mindset and the order taker's perspective. If, as your employer, I instruct you to make a ham sandwich, your resume would likely say prepared ham sandwiches. What I'm not getting, perhaps, is the importance of why you prepare ham sandwiches in your role. For example, if you prepared food for New York City's homeless population as a staff member at the New York City Bowery Mission, that will be much more impactful to someone who is looking at your profile. People have mixed views about the value of endorsements. If I'm looking for a candidate who has expertise in accounting and I viewed these 2 candidates very similarly, I would lean toward a candidate who had more endorsements versus less endorsements. From a skills perspective, it's important to include in your profile skills that would be relevant to a recruiter or a hiring manager in your target field. For example, if in your former life you were an event planner and event planning was one of the skills you had included on your LinkedIn profile, and now you want to be a consultant or a strategy consultant, you probably want to remove the event planning skill from your profile. LinkedIn allows you to manage your endorsements, which means that you can go into your endorsements and you can hide people who have endorsed you for a specific skill. That can be helpful because it means that you're not deleting the skill, and if you want to use it later on with the endorsements that you have, you can always bring it back. One thing that the recruiter may wonder is, has this individual ever worked for anyone who thought that this person did a good job? One great way to highlight that is recommendations on your LinkedIn profile. If you have worked for other people who would be willing to write you a recommendation, try to ask them to include things that would be relevant for the types of positions that you are targeting. We hope you found the insights shared on this short video to be helpful. If you are ready to tackle your LinkedIn profile, feel free to make an appointment with the Zicklin GCMC, and an advisor can help you customize your LinkedIn profile so that you can get the most out of it and use it as an effective tool to get the job you're looking for.